The best thing wey fit happen to Chelsea this season na to keep one man fit. Let me remind you of a man who has changed the face of Chelsea's attack. Joao Pedro. I will lie for you. What a player, man. See, it seems Brighton are the best market for Chelsea. You know, say if you dey go market, go buy something, you get one of your best customers when you think they always work for you, and that is exactly how it is for Chelsea. What a player that guy is. 5 goals, that's 5 starts and 5 goals. 9 goals and assists in 8 games. What a player. This guy has completely changed the face of Chelsea's attack. Chelsea, they always cry for striker problems over the time. Strikers have been performing bad when it comes to Chelsea, but trust me, these guys have come with less pressure. Like, it was Chelsea fans were not expecting too much when they're signing. In fact, not be waiting Chelsea fans want be this. Chelsea fans have always wanted an Osimhen and the rest, but this guy has completely changed the face of Chelsea's attack. What a player. Chelsea with a 2-0 victory over Fulham. What a game that is, man. What a fantastic game for Chelsea. Chelsea started this game very slowly. And that first half, it did like say Chelsea don't even understand themselves at all. So the players were so bad, especially Enzo Fernandez was so bad in the first half. Some other players were actually bad also in the first half. Chelsea don't even bring anything to the game at all. Neto was bad in the first half. It was so poor for the Chelsea team in the first half. The thing that really helped Chelsea for that first half was that goal that they cancelled for Fulham, because that could have completely changed everything in the game. Chelsea started very slowly, poor passes, moving the ball so slowly, and it actually affected Chelsea in the first half. Chelsea in the first half was completely different team, but the second half came and everything changed. Everybody started coming into the game. The likes of Caicedo started picking up, Chalobah started picking up, Tosin started picking up. Every player actually stepped up in the second half, and it actually changed for Chelsea. And a fantastic goal for Joao Pedro. What a corner kick, from Enzo that has been bad all game. See, if you play bad all game, make 1 or 2 things where you go do in that match can completely change how bad you were in that game. Enzo was bad in this game in the first half, but you see that his assist and his goal has changed everything for him. A goal for Joao Pedro, a fantastic header for him, and also a penalty goal, a penalty kick for Enzo, that gave Chelsea the second goal. And at that point, Chelsea became very, 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 very confident. And what a game for Chelsea to seal up the victory for Chelsea. The bad thing about this game was the injury to Delap. It was very, very bad. But we're going to talk about that now. Let's talk about the 5 things, we learned from this game. Because trust me, every Chelsea game gives us a different perspective of the team. Every Chelsea game makes us learn something new about this team. Because trust me, today we have picked out 5 things we learned from today's game. First of all, the way Chelsea actually starts games this season has been really, really bad. If you remember the first game, against Crystal Palace, Chelsea started really bad. Chelsea conceded against, Crystal Palace with the Eze's goal. And if not for the fact that they cancelled that goal, Chelsea would have maybe lost that game, because Chelsea were not in the game. Chelsea started really, really poorly in that match. It happened again against West Ham. Chelsea started really poorly against West Ham, and that game, West Ham scored. If not for how bad West Ham is the whole season and how bad they are as a club, Chelsea were supposed to find it very difficult in that game. So Chelsea came back into that game and scored 5 goals. So Chelsea needs to starting these games, very, very, strongly. It happened again today against Fulham. You cannot keep starting games badly like this. If you meet a big opposition, if you meet a very big club or a better club, it will affect Chelsea going forward. Imagine conceding an early goal against Liverpool. Imagine conceding an early goal against Manchester City, Arsenal, those big clubs. It will always tell on Chelsea. So Chelsea has to really start games and start games well. If not for how they cancelled the goal, for Fulham, Chelsea would have conceded in that first half already. So Chelsea needs to always start games very, very strongly. So that's one of the things we learned, about Chelsea's game today. Then the next thing is, for anything Chelsea will do this season, Chelsea needs to keep Joao Pedro fit. Because he is proving now that him, Caicedo, Cucurella are the most important players in the team right now. He has come into the Chelsea's team and changed the face of the Chelsea's attack completely. 5 starts, 5 goals. 9 goals and assists in 8 games. What a signing is turning out to be for Chelsea. What a player he is for Chelsea. He finds a way to actually, show himself in every game. He finds a way to affect the game every single time. That is what the best strikers bring to you. And with the way he's going, he might be one of the best signings this season in the whole of Premier League. What a fantastic signing, that is for Chelsea. What a player he is. If he doesn't score goals, he makes assists. It shows that there's a striker in Chelsea right now. That's why Chelsea were confident enough to let Nicolas Jackson leave on loan to Bayern Munich. What a player that guy is. Fantastic player for me. See, this guy will score goals. He will cook this season. And Chelsea just have to keep him fit. And that is what I think Chelsea should do this season. Another thing we learned from this game is Chelsea really need a really good squad depth. Yes, you might say Chelsea has squad depth already, but trust me, with this injury to Delap right now, you cannot overload Joao Pedro at this point because you don't also want him to tear out. Yes, Palmer is also out with injured. He will be back soon as well. Chelsea needs to try as much as possible to keep these players fit. Chelsea needs to keep players fit this season. Palmer is out. Delap has gone out injured. Chelsea are left to just one striker. You see the performance of Tyreek George this game. Tyreek George was nowhere to be found this game. Tyreek George was just like a passenger. That is to show that, see, I hope letting Jackson go might not actually hurt Chelsea. Because at this point, Chelsea really needs somebody. I know it might not be a very tough injury. It might not be an injury that would, delay for too long. That's why I'm not going to talk too much about this. But it's a concern. It's a concern, trust me, and I hope he gets fit and gets better, as quick as possible. Now, the next thing we learned from this game today, is the home form of Chelsea. The home form for Chelsea will be very important for this Chelsea team going forward. In this season, if Chelsea wants to succeed this season in all fronts, both in Premier League, Champions League, whatever, Chelsea home form has to be the best. And good, Chelsea has not lost in the first 2 games of this season at home. A draw and a win against Fulham. So it's a good result for me. But Chelsea has to maintain this momentum going forward into this season because home form is very important. There are some particular games that will be very difficult away from home. But when it comes to home form, Chelsea needs to pick out maximum results. When it comes to home form, Chelsea needs to make sure at least pick up a win. Not even a draw, because it will be difficult at Anfield. If it will be difficult at the Emirates, it will be difficult anywhere else. But home form has to be maximum points. Chelsea doesn't need to keep conceding early goals and making it very difficult for the fans and the entire team. In the first half or in the game. Chelsea needs to always pick up maximum point at home. It will help Chelsea going forward this season because there are some games that will be very difficult, like I said earlier, but Chelsea needs, and it's very important for Chelsea to always pick up home form, this season. Now, let's talk about the controversial moment of the game. The handball, against Fulham. See, at that handball, there were 4 things the referee was checking. He was checking the handball, he was checking the push of Joao Pedro. He was checking the handball of Joao Pedro, and he was also checking the handball of the Sessegnon and also the offside. So at that point, it will be very controversial. As if you're not a Chelsea fan watching this, you might say it's an handball. The Chelsea were not supposed to get the penalty. But on the other hand, if it wasn't given as a penalty, you also say that was an handball and it was supposed to be a penalty. So at that point, like I said, it will always be controversial. So that was like 3 controversial calls in one that the referee has to pick up, one particular, decision. Now for VAR this season, it will always be controversial. At some point, it might go for you. At some point, it might go against you. Look at what happened between Manchester United and Fulham last game. Manchester United got a controversial penalty. Then when it comes to Fulham conceding and there was a push on Bassi, the referee didn't blow. So at that point, it will always be controversial. So you all, as a Chelsea fan or whatever club you're supporting, you just have to pray that VAR works for you. And that is how it is this season. There will always be controversial calls, in this season. It worked for Chelsea today. Next game, it might work against Chelsea. The first goal Chelsea conceded, VAR worked. The goal Chelsea scored, VAR works for Chelsea. So it will always be controversial, going forward. So that is what it is about this game. And also, at the end of the day, I just hope and I pray that the lab gets fit and gets fit immediately, because Chelsea cannot afford to start this season getting injured. And it was a very good game for Chelsea. Enzo Maresca really showed that yes, he can be tactically brilliant. He might not actually start well, but at the end of the day, what matters is how you finish the game. What matters is the results you get in the game, even if you don't start well. That is it about football. There's a whole lot of talking points when it comes to football. You might start well and finish bad. You might finish bad and start well. So it is what it is. But the most important thing was Chelsea had to grind out that important result. And that was exactly what Chelsea did today. Grinding out an important result in a difficult match in the first half. But in the second half, Chelsea changed things, especially when Chelsea scored. And one thing I also noticed today was the set piece goal from Chelsea. Last game, Chelsea scored a set piece goal. This game, Chelsea scored a set piece goal. One thing I'm noticing with this Chelsea team is that Chelsea are beginning to prioritize set pieces. Arsenal's stronghold, Arsenal's strong point is set piece, and Chelsea needs to start getting goals from set piece, and that was exactly what Chelsea did today. A set piece goal from Joao Pedro makes it very, very important for Chelsea into the game. But let me know what you think about this game. Let me know what you think about the Joao Pedro's form, Joao Pedro's goal, Maresca's brilliance in the game, and how Chelsea started this game. Let me know what you think. If you're new to this channel, hit the like button, subscribe to this channel, join this family, hit the notification bell. Until I come your way again next time, I remain your boy Mike Way. Stay cool. Cheers.